Hi everyone, welcome back to the CAD channel. Have you ever seen a screen like this? Maybe you have. Well, today, I'm going to show you step by step how to create Google Earth data using a free online data processing tool, and then how to easily export it into AutoCAD or Civil 3D. So, let's dive right in. You can use this web-based data filtering tool directly in your web browser at https://overpass-turbo.u. Let's take a look at this online web-based data filtering tool. This is Overpass Turbo, a web-based tool for filtering data from OpenStreetMap. With Overpass Turbo, you can run Overpass API queries and analyze the resulting OSM data interactively on a map. It also has an integrated wizard that makes creating queries super easy. You can save and load your queries, and for starters, I already prepared a few example queries. Using the export tool, you can convert your filtered data into several formats that can be used with other software. Let's just take a quick look at them to see what Overpass can do. These are the saved queries I've already created. I'll just load one and run it to show you what happens when it's executed. As you can see, my query has selected exactly what I requested. Okay, now let's see in detail how to create and run queries, and how to export the prepared data into Google Earth or other formats. To start, we need to create our queries to filter the data on the map according to our requirements. To make sure my queries are correct, I use Wiki, OpenStreetMap.org to find the right object types. Let's take a look at how this works. First, I need to select specific data: main roads, side roads, main streets, rivers, and buildings. Now, I'll create the queries for my requirements. I'll click on the wizard to build my queries. You can see that it shows examples for a few things. To start, I need to find all the roads. I'll type highway equals and, as the example shows, I'll try primary for the main roads. Then, I'll click Build and Run to check the results. As you can see, that didn't select anything. No problem. Let's try secondary from the example and run the query again. There we go. You can see it's now selected the main roads. To figure out how to build queries for other types of roads, we'll need some help from the OpenStreetMap wiki. I'll go to the website and type highway into the search bar. As you can see, it shows a variety of highway types here. We can use this data to build our queries correctly. Notice how the map shows various road types with different colors. By using this information and matching it with the map, we can build our queries very easily. Alright, let's move on with building our queries. As you can see on the map, we've successfully created a query for these yellow roads. Now, let's look at some other types. I want to add these white roads. An important thing to remember is that you need to add or between each query. So, after our first query, I'll type or, then highway equals, and I'll use tertiary. I'll just copy that word from the wiki, paste it into the query, and run it. Great, that worked. Let's try one more. Always you need to remember to type or between the queries. Again, I'll type or after the last one, followed by highway equals, and I'll try unclassified. I'll copy and paste that into our query. As you can see, that didn't work. Alright, let's try one more. I have a feeling that residential will match the data on our map. I'll just copy that and add it to the query builder. Perfect, it works. Now you can see that we have almost all the roads selected. I want to point out something else that's really important. Notice that if we zoom out using the mouse scroll wheel, only a small part of the data is selected. That's because this web tool only filters data within your current view. Now, to select all of the buildings, I just type building into the wizard. Once I run the query, you can see that every building in this area has been selected. When we select a large area, this message will display. I'll just click Continue anyway to proceed. Okay, you can see the railway line here. I need to select this as well. Let's find the correct query on the wiki website. I'll type railways in the browser tab. Where can we find the key and value? Let's search here. Okay. I'll click this. Right, let's see what kind of symbol is shown on the map. Rail should be the correct one. I'll just copy it and paste it into the wizard. I'll type or followed by railway and the equals sign, and then paste rail here. Now, I'll run the query. Perfect. The railway line is now selected. And here, we can see a river. Let's try to add this to our selection as well. I'll head back to the wiki and search for rivers. It looks like waterways is the key, so we need to find the correct value. I'll try river first, go back to the wizard, paste it in, and run the query. Oh, it's not working. Okay, let's try stream instead, following the same steps. And nope, that's not working either. Alright, let's try canal. I'll follow the same steps as before. There we go, it finally worked. Alright, so as I mentioned before, the query will only select objects that are visible within your current window. To get the data you need, you have to run the query only after you've zoomed into the right area. If you don't, your selections won't be accurate. So, if you want to filter data for a larger or smaller area, you'll need to zoom in or out to the exact location you need. Alright, now that all the data has been collected, it's a good idea to save this query. This allows you to reuse it later if you ever need to select this same type of data. So, I'll go up to the Save button and give it a name. I'm going to call this one Roads, Buildings, Railways. Alright, it's time to finalize our data selection. I use the scroll wheel and dragging to choose the exact area I want. Then, I'll run the query one more time. Keep in mind that once you save your query, you can use it anywhere on the map to easily select this kind of data. For this demonstration, I'm going to grab a slightly bigger area to export to both Google Earth and AutoCAD. You can use a saved query to select any type of data on the map. I highly suggest using the OpenStreetMap wiki to get a good understanding of the different keys and values. It seems one big road is missing from my selected data, so I'll need to add it. Let's head back to the wiki to find the right value for this. I'm guessing it's trunk. Let's try it out. Great, that worked. I'll run the query one more time to grab our updated data. I'll click Continue anyway, and since we just added a new road type, I'll need to save the query again, and save it with previous name. Alright, it's time to export this data as a KML file. Just click the Export button. By the way, if you want to share a link to this data, you can use the Share option, which will generate a link you can send to someone. Now, in this next window, you'll see you can convert the data into 4 different formats. You can pick the one that works best for your software and needs. Here, I'm going to export the data as a KML file, and then I'll click the Download button. So, I've gone ahead and copied the KML file to my computer's work folder. Let's open it and see what we've got. Look at that. Everything we selected from the Overpass Turbo web tool has been exported into this KML file. You can easily go in and change things like the colors, line thickness, names, and other properties to get it looking exactly how you want. This is so useful because all the object details from the map are included in the export. It's perfect for when you're preparing a presentation or need to show a project's details. From here, you can customize all the details to match your project's specific requirements. I've already covered how to customize object properties on Google Earth in a previous video, so if you want to learn more about modifying Google Earth data, definitely check that one out. I'll include a link in both the description and the comments section below. So, that's how you get details for Google Earth using a completely free web tool. Remember, the CADFX channel is always here to give you knowledge. Okay, now let's see how we can import this data into AutoCAD and Civil 3D. Okay, I've opened AutoCAD and started a brand new drawing. Unfortunately, AutoCAD doesn't have a built-in command to import a KML file, so we're going to use AutoCAD LISP file for this. I found this LISP online, and I have to give a huge thanks to the developer. The first step is to go to the Tools menu and click the Load Application icon. I'll click Load once because I need this AutoCAD LISP only for this time. Then, click Close. Now, to run it, I'll type IRT. In here I've set my coordinate system to WGS80 to match Google Earth. I also need to change the map type to KML, then select Import. I'm leaving the other settings as they are, so I'll just click OK. Okay, the LISP program is now asking us to select a mode. Since we need to open a file, I'll type F to load it. I'll then select the KML file we created and click OK. Now, if we zoom to objects, you can see that all of our data has loaded perfectly into the AutoCAD file. I've saved this to my computer, so that's the entire process. You can use this same AutoCAD LISP to easily load any KML file. Now you can customize this data in AutoCAD to fit your project's requirements. Use it to create a preliminary plan, a basic road design, or any other type of map you need. You can also import a georeferenced image to help with your map preparation. I already explained how to do this in a previous video, so if you want to learn how to import an image, you can watch that one as well. I'll put a link to it in the description. Okay, now let's see how to import a KML file into Civil 3D. I've opened a new file, and for this, I can use the Map Import command. From the Import Location dialog box, I'll select the file type to Google KML using the drop-down menu. Next, I'll select our KML file and click OK. The next dialog box shows exactly what data is being imported from the KML file, which is different from the AutoCAD process. I'm not going to change any of these settings, so I'll just press OK to complete the task. Finally, I'll zoom in on the objects. This video demonstrated a complete, cost-free workflow for getting detailed map data into your professional design software. First, you learned how to use a free online tool called Overpass Turbo. We created custom queries to select specific data like roads, rivers, and buildings, and we used the OpenStreetMap wiki as a reference to ensure our queries were correct. Once the data was selected, we exported it as a KML file, which is valuable because it contains important objects with the properties. Next, we covered two different methods for importing that file. For AutoCAD, which doesn't natively support KML, we used a third-party LISP routine to successfully import the data. For Civil 3D, we use the program's built-in Map Import command, which makes the process much simpler and provides more control. Ultimately, this workflow allows you to acquire precise, customizable data from a free online source and prepare it for use in your professional projects, from basic plans to detailed designs. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to show your support, please like this video and share it with someone who could use the information. And to stay up to date with all our new content, make sure you've subscribed to the CADFX channel and hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.